California. What the fuck difference does it make where I'm from, man?
Welcome to the game.
This I'm trying to stack up in like a pre-recorded, so it's all just loaded and ready to go, and I'm not searching around for stuff.
I got a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you happen to know how many people gave permissions through this StreamYard app from our page? A few people were against it. Oh, I'm not doing that. Did you?
Yeah, I saw that. And, that's fine. In fact, I deleted that post, but I don't know if it deleted the permission thing itself. I don't know.
Oh, I'm saying, did anyone else other than me go ahead and give permissions, or?
Well, it's going to be the reason I did it this way. Number one is anytime we want to generate some exclusive content like this thing with Tim Bradle, I'd want to put it up on the site first because it's marketability. It's marketability for the site, and it's marketability for your donation page as well. So the first thing is to funnel them to the ER2 page. If they don't want to do that, then a week later the thing goes up pre-recorded onto YouTube, and anybody can access it at that point.
Okay.
But and I can toggle it back and forth. I can stream it to one and not the other, or I can stream it to both at the same time. And they actually sound like I know what the hell I'm talking about, and I really don't.
I mean, I'm gonna reboot the fundraiser only after I get the ankle bracelet cut off. I mean, it's still there. There it is.
All right, let me.
Even if I can't get a picture of me holding it up, I'm gonna do someone take a picture of me with my hand in the air, and I can superimpose a GPS ankle bracelet, and that will be like my day of vindication. Like, hey, finally got this off. Court is Thursday now. When I was there last Thursday, I said, "Hey, Tim, will they cut this off me today?" He goes, "Probably not. They usually just them that I still found on my TikTok." And he putting them on a thumb as one of his oral arguments. Like, Your Honor, my client's been putting these similar videos up for years. And then the other thing was, if you notice in that motion, very important part, he said, why didn't they have a hearing in front of the clerk? They just right away issued a warrant. So they skipped a step. Because usually what happens is a complaint is signed off. Yeah, you go in front of a magistrate for a hearing. Right. And then they issue the warrant. But in this particular case, they skipped that step and just went right ahead and issued the warrant.
Well, as long as they don't kick it to Superior Court. Because the good thing that you have here is, the Turtle Boy case, he's paving the ground on all that, paving the way. He'll take it all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court if he has to. And if they declare Turtle Boy unconstitutional, then you're okay.
Did you see what he did in the motion? He went to the extreme because in court, they're like, you can't tell if these 3 cartoons were attacked or kidnapped. And he's like, Tony, it doesn't matter. You're covered under the First Amendment. So he went to the extreme. He went, Mr. Raymond posted a video of a karate guy with 3 graves dug behind him. He went all the way with it. So when they see that, I says, they're going to shit when they see your stuff because that was the best thing
And
to do because you know what I mean?
this is another good reason I want to do the pre-recorded with him, is that way I'm not asking him something or dumping something out there on a live show. And I'm not versatile enough for this thing to go live anyway, which brings up not to digress, but brings up another question is, I'm not I shouldn't be the face for this podcast thing. Ultimately, you should be the face for it. So
Well, I think
I hope you're ready to take it over.
I
After you
think
get
it
clear.
should be you. I think instead of wearing a blue shirt, wear some Everett colors, red and white, crimson tide, and you look really good with the casino behind you. And if you do a few, and then once I get, if I can someday try it, or if say like when you come up to Boston to visit and you can show me, or
Yeah.
this isn't
Oh,
this
we
is
can
gonna
do it all.
something where you're gonna have to be like right next to me showing me how to do it.
It's, once I find where all the sweet spots are, what you need to know, it's really not all that complicated. We can do most of it virtually, which is the good thing. I just threw the shirt and hat on because
You know what? You could throw a test one up on the page, this with the intro and with that 1 minute Young Jerks thing, just to get people used to the intro. Be
yeah,
like, if you want to just wait and sit on this, that's fine. But
yeah, okay. In fact, I'm going to be downloading this. I can actually redo that right. All right,
he's
let
so
me
super confident with this thing.
let me tee that up again so I can use it later and cut it out. So, I got a clip on the side.
Ask me a few questions. I'll answer them. If you like it, you could use it in your clips. Like whatever, just shoot from the hip. We'll just do it like
Yeah,
whatever
I
you
just
want
want
to
to
do.
go ahead and put the Young Jerks, Mike Crawford, allowed us to use the 1 minute clip there. Actually, he allowed me to use whatever I needed to use. But of course, Turtle Boy's case, if there is a silver lining in the cloud here, is that it's his case is identical to yours in so many ways, and it's just immediately beforehand. So it's like like walking in the snow behind somebody. His footsteps are right there in front, and absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna bring up the clip with Tim now.
Judges, it doesn't mean that they're right. It doesn't mean that it's not going to change. If we have to go to Washington and establish this, we will. And it's going to be just like the South v. Veterans, where the one perception in Massachusetts was unanimously that it was this way, and it's going to be completely different if they keep going in the way that they're going. And I don't think they will. I have a lot of faith in RSJC. I really do. But they're not the final word on this. If we have to go to Washington, we will, and we're going to win this thing because it's a First Amendment issue. It's an Article 16 issue, which is from our Massachusetts Declaration of Rights, which actually preceded the Constitution, the U.S. Constitution. And whether the SJC decides it under Article 16 or whether we have to go to the Supreme Court under the First Amendment, we'll do it. But this cannot stand.
Hey, Walter,
Tim's
Article
fired up,
16.
so he'll take it.
Are you familiar with that Article
Yeah.
16? I'm going to have to look that up.
Not verbatim. It's in the Massachusetts state constitution, and it precedes actually the First Amendment.
So
Right,
Massachusetts, we're the First Circuit. So we set the precedent.
Yeah.
Like when I was in
Absolutely.
federal prison and the law librarian guys were appealing their case, they cite typically from First Circuit, which, no one's going to cite a case from like Circuit 9, New Mexico. You know what I mean? Like Massachusetts, we set the precedent. Like, listen, he's so super confident with this case with me. He's acting like your case is nothing, Tony. This is going to be quick. And he's like, the Turtle Boys case is going to be this long drawn out thing. That's kind of what I got from him. And
The humorous thing is that, as you said, Turtle Boy's case is really complicated and all that, and could drag on quite a while. Yours could well kind of circle around it and, get a resolution faster, and your name could become the case of precedence.
He told me he's going to tie our cases together. He said, I want to go to the highest court so that I can tie these two cases together. Because now he's going to be known as the First Amendment guy. Did I send you a picture of his new card? He had a new card made up. I'll send it to you. He's all proud of it. Like, check out my new card, Tony. And he flips it over, and it's got the scales of justice, and one's way up with a sword. And I says, Tim, you're going to be known as like the First Amendment guy. You got a First Amendment case going on the South Shore. Now you got one going on the North Shore. You got a body involved on the South Shore, and we can't dismiss that there's a body involved on this North Shore case, because with all this chaos going on in Everett, everyone's got their hand in the cookie jar. This is a messy thing here, what's going on. These stories, let's just say 80% of them are true. All right, let's just say 70% of them are true. Like, doesn't that bother you? Like, do they think like everything that we're putting up there is like a blatant lie or something? Like, it doesn't make any sense. We're researching, we're putting up like documents, like public requests, Freedom of Information Acts, emails, purchase orders. Like, we're like proving everything that we're putting up on the page.
Well, that's why it's important that we get a video trail of this too.
They're in denial, like it's crazy. But that thing with Jimmy Kello either getting killed or taking his life, that bothered me, because like I didn't know him well, but growing up, he was one of the best softball players in the city, and I know his wife, she was a cheerleader for the Everett Huskies when we were growing up. Like, half these people that I despise in the city of Everett now for being so dirty, like, we all grew up together as teenagers. Like Joe LaMonica, I was on the same football team with him. I couldn't tell you, fast forward 30 years, he would turn out to be a bootlicker of Carlos, like, I got no respect for that. Half these people I knew and liked growing up in the city. Now I can't stomach them. I see them, my stomach turns into knots.
Well, once the reign of terror comes to an end, a lot of these people are going to go by the wayside, I should say. On this thing here, as far as the podcast goes, going forward, one thing I was thinking about is you have some pretty animated people that do public participation. So I was going to start extending some invitations out. I'd love to have, like Paula and Peggy Serino is another one. Start giving them a greater voice than the 2 minutes that the city council will give them, and we can start looking at some local events local issues that have taken place. Once
it gets out what's going on in Everett, because nobody knows, like us, we're in the know. We see how devious and despicable all of this is, but
that's funny because, I was going to say to you, I remember, we talk about no transparency in Everett. Actually, it's very transparent. They don't even try to hide the lies. It's so juvenile that you wouldn't believe it from a 3-year-old kid. So that's the only transparency you get, is they just lie right straight to your face. I watched the school committee meeting from last night too, and that was quite interesting. So we get different things that we can integrate into this. It's just a matter of me being able to figure out, how to coordinate it and do it right. I got to jump off now.
Why do you think they're so brazen? Do you think that it's because, now look at this, Carlo Di Maria, Democrat from Everett, Joe McGonigal, Democrat from Everett, state rep, Sal DiDomenico, Democrat, state senator from Everett. Like, he's protected all the way up to Maury Healy, Democrat, who, I guess from what I understand, Carlos' in-laws are in tight with Maury Healy. Like, from what I hear, this is the tip. They're like riding this whole train of destruction what's going on the federal level, state level, local level.
Well, you know, and I know that George Reagan owns them all. All right. So
Yeah.
the world don't go around unless Reagan says it does. If he decides to put a choke point on any one of those media outlets, which he can do quite easily because he's got the money and the power to do so, it cuts off their finances and their base, and it's all the way up to the governor. So yeah, they're operating, as you said, brazenly, with really no fear of any kind of retribution at all. And that's one of the questions I'm going to be asking Tim about when I get him is, why are the courts so crooked that these people can trump up a charge like this on you and not fear any kind of rebuke on it, no kind of penalty or anything like that? How is it they get to operate in this vacuum with no fear whatsoever? They can just trump up the charges, and now they go after Johnny Pop. I mean, that really.
He's telling me. I asked him, hey, if I get I want to hear those 3 words that are better than I love you. All charges dismissed. When that happens, it paves the way to sue. And he said, not only can you sue like the city of Everett, you could sue people individually, and all the way down to the clerk of courts. This could blow back on that person. Like, they're not off the hook. Like, here, let me put this ridiculous complaint in your face. Sign off on this. Like, was that a called in favor? Hey, look, we're going to send you this complaint. Just sign off on it. Like, if we get one person to break and say, yeah, I got called, they asked me to sign off on it. Because once I get all charges dismissed in a perfect world, I'll go after everyone and whoever that I can.
Correct.
He's going to direct me. Tim is affiliated with a firm that's going to handle the lawsuits when all is said and done.
I don't have the confidence level yet to do that. Again, I want to see if I can pre-record, and obviously I can't. All right, I'm going to have to end
this was the
this
type of stuff that Fitzgerald was doing. Fitzgerald was buying some software. He was going to get this software where he could do commentary like you are during the city council meetings and stuff.
Well, believe me, I was tempted to take a crack at the school committee meeting, but again, I'm not a local person anymore. So people would have the argument, what the hell business is it of mine to be worried about what's going on in Everett at this point?
Yeah, but still, you're doing damage from so far away. Like, you're hammering them from far down there. Like, you're an integral part of all of it. I like what you did with it. I like the ER2 concept. If you can brand it and pump it up and get us more exposure through this StreamYard concept, I mean, I think that's great, Walter.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to use the logo too. I want to get it to a point where when people just catch the logo in the corner of their eye, they know it's something that they can go after.
All your YouTube videos have it. In the beginning, the ER2 with the countdown thing, it's cool. Yeah, you're pretty, it's pretty creative. And some people will make fun of, I do the TikTok videos. I'm like, it's creativity, man. It's whatever you're in the mood for. You want to be silly. You want to be serious. You want to be somewhere in the middle. It's whatever your mood is,
Yeah, I used to do spoof videos years ago, and it's just,
I want you to send me a picture of you in your El Camino.
Oh, my Corvette.
Oh, you had the vet.
I had that Corvette, baby.
Well, once we blow up, I want some throwback pictures of you, so I can do some videos with some songs in the background and stuff. But
there's got to be some hanging out there.
Maybe for your birthday or for your triumphant return to the Boston area, hopefully someday on some celebratory shit,
It's expensive to do,
Yeah, everything copacetic.
The bad thing about North Carolina. Yeah, no, I just had a bug come in that was about a wasp. A wasp that was about 3 inches long. All right, so I'm gonna close this off now and see what we got going on, and I'll be back in touch.
Peace out, Walter. Good job, buddy.
Peace, my man. All right, thanks, bro.